ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਰੇ ਹਾਰਟੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਕੁਝ ਦਿਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਇੱਕ ਚਰਚਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਈ ਨਿਊਜ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਵਾਰਿਸ ਆਲੂਵਾਲੀਆ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਕਸੀਕੋ 에ਅਰਪੋਰਟ ਤੇ ਪੱਗ ਲਾਉਣ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਗਿਆ, ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਵਾਕਫ ਹਾਂ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜੋ ਵਾਰਿਸ ਆਲੂਵਾਲੀਆ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਚੱਕਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ 에ਅਰਪੋਰਟ ਤੇ 에ਅਰਲਾਈਨ ਅਥਾਰਟੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਐਜੂਕੇਟ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਟੈਪ ਚੱਕੇ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਵਾਕਫ ਹਾਂ। ਇਸ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਦੇ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਅਸੀਂ US, ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਅਤੇ ਮੈਕਸੀਕੋ ਦੀ ਉਸ ਅਥਾਰਟੀਜ਼, ਉਸ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਜੋ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟ 에ਅਰਪੋਰਟ ਦੀ ਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਨਟੇਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜਨ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ 에ਅਰ ਟਰਾਂਸਪੋਰਟ ਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਅਥਾਰਟੀ ਤੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਰਿਪਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟੇਟਿਵ ਮੈਥਿਊ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਦੱਸਣ ਕਿ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ ਸਟੈਂਡਰਡ ਜਾਂ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ 에ਅਰਪੋਰਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਰਿਲੀਜੀਅਸ ਹੈਡਗੀਅਰ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਪੱਗ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਰਾਈਟਸ ਟਰੈਵਲਰ ਕੋਲ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਜੋ ਟਰੈਵਲਰ ਨੂੰ ਜੇ ਕਦੀ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਆਵੇ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਰਾਈਟਸ ਦਾ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ ਵਾ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ 에ਅਰ ਟਰਾਂਸਪੋਰਟ ਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਅਥਾਰਟੀ ਨਾਲ, ਜਾਣਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੱਗ ਬੰਨੀ ਹੋਏ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ 에ਅਰਪੋਰਟ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਆਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਰਾਈਟ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਆਫੀਸਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਪੁੱਛ ਸਕਦਾ। ਆਓ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਮੈਥਿਊ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ। Thank you. What is the security screening protocol for religious headgear in Canada?
Right. So our organization is responsible, as you know, for the screening of passengers and their belongings, and we take the screening of religious and cultural items very seriously, and we have some procedures in place to ensure that passengers and items are treated with respect. So when it comes to religious head coverings, there are two different procedures. Actually, the screening of head coverings in Canada and international flight is slightly different than for U.S. flights because we have different regulations for flights going to the U.S. and flights going to Canada and international flights. So for domestic and international flights, if you go through the screening process with a head covering, you will be a non-religious head covering. You will be asked to remove it and put it in a bin for screening. Now, if you're wearing a head covering for a religious or medical reason, you may keep your head covering on. You don't have to remove it, and you have to go through the metal detector. And if there are no alarms, no issues, then you can just continue on your way. Now, if your head covering causes an alarm at the metal detector, then additional screening might be required. Now, there's a different rule for the U.S. because we have to follow certain regulations that are requested of us by our U.S. counterparts. So if you are going through screening with your head covering and you don't remove it, after the walk-through metal detector, you will be asked to pat down the head coverings and then present your hands for explosive trace detection after the walk-through metal detector.
Okay.
If there are no issues, then the screening can continue. You can pick up your belongings and continue on the other side of security.
Okay. I just want to understand the last part you said. You said traveler will be asked to pat down his own head covering by himself, or someone else will be patting down his head covering?
No, the passengers will be asked to pat down his own head coverings with his own hands. And then there will be a test done on the passenger's hands. And this is just for the flights going to the United States. This does not apply to flights within Canada or flights going to other international destinations.
What is the rule for international destinations?
For international destinations, other than the U.S., it is the same as for a domestic flight. If you go through the metal detector and there are no alarms, you do not need to pat down your own head covering.
Okay. And in case if any traveler is being asked by security people to remove head covering, do traveler have right to ask for a private room?
Absolutely. In fact, the screening officer will ask if the passengers would be more comfortable to have the search performed in a private room.
Okay. And in case if traveler traveler get into a dispute with a security officer, do traveler have right to ask for a supervisor or manager?
Absolutely, absolutely. If there's an argument at the checkpoint and it cannot be resolved, passengers can certainly request to speak to someone higher up, whether it's a supervisor or a manager at the checkpoint. Absolutely.
Okay. If any such incident happens in Canada and traveler wants to file a complaint, what's the best way of filing a complaint?
Yes, so if passengers are not happy with the screening process, we encourage them to go to our website. Under the section Contact Us, there is a section for comments and complaints. So we invite passengers to share their experience with us, and we investigate every single correspondence that we receive from passengers. So if you think that the procedures were not followed, if you're not happy with your screening process, we invite you to go to our website, send us your comments. Someone will respond to you by writing or by phone. Usually it's done within a very short period of time. An investigation will be launched. We'll look at video. We'll talk to the screening officers. We'll talk to the passenger, and hopefully we'll be able to clear it out and explain what happened and determine if the procedures were followed or not followed.
Okay. I know you have very less time, so I'm going to ask you one last question. Do you recall any such incident happen in Canada? Any complaint from a Sikh man in Canada?
We did receive complaints in the past. From various travelers. We don't receive a lot, but it's not unusual. And we apply the same process. We do an investigation. We call back the passenger. We look at the video. We talk to the screening officers, and we try to determine if procedures are followed or not. When they are not properly followed, we usually apologize to passengers, and we provide additional training to screening officers. Or there are various steps that we can take when a complaint is substantiated.
So you guys are responsible basically for educating all the screening officers across Canada?
Well, we do a lot of education, of outreach, to make sure that they are aware of the various religious and cultural meanings of various items and various processes. So yes, we do a lot of outreach with our screening officers, whether through shift briefing or through a newsletter or through training. There is a lot of information that we share with them on the importance of being respectful and discreet, and to treat passengers and items of cultural or religious significance with dignity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking time from your busy schedule joining us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. ਇਹ ਸਨ ਮੈਥਿਊ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ 에ਅਰ ਟਰਾਂਸਪੋਰਟ ਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਅਥਾਰਟੀ ਤੋਂ ਜੋ ਦੱਸ ਰਹੇ ਸਨ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੱਗਬੰਦੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਰਾਈਟਸ ਨੇ ਜੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਸਟੈਪਸ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਮੀਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਇਹ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਸੰਦ ਆਈ ਹੋਊਗੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਯੂਐਸ 에ਅਰਪੋਰਟ ਅਥਾਰਟੀ ਯੂਐਸ ਟੋਰ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟ ਜੋ ਯੂਐਸ ਦੀ 에ਅਰਪੋਰਟਸ ਦੀ ਦੇਖਭਾਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਵਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਯੂਐਸ ਤੋਂ ਟਰੈਵਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰੀਏ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੋ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ